Hi, this is Dave from Heroes Needed, just one of the many fine shows you can find on the Nod Network. Visit us on nerdod.com or subscribe on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, or wherever else you get your favorite podcasts.
I've seen Total Recall. I don't want to live on the moon, on the Mars. It's not
On
good.
the
That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger would say it, wouldn't he? He'd say it like that.
Listen, if we had 50,000 more listeners, that would be a shirt this week. I don't want to live on the Mars.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Nerd OD podcast with your host Reg
And Dan.
And
Are we hosts? Is that how it works?
well, I thought I would hang on and I would let Sean step into that space, do his bit, and I'd just come in at the end because I'm not always here. You know, I come in.
Made the last 3 weeks, so
never
I
leave
was
a
just
gap.
like, if I immediately jump in. No, but we need to do it alphabetically in future.
Hang on, because I've got two names, so which one?
It doesn't matter, Steve. Sure.
They both begin with S.
But
You will
anyway,
always
good
be
effort.
the S.
Yeah. Anyway, Reg, Dan, Dave, and Sean / Steve.
The Reg doesn't come first.
I don't know. It
It's
doesn't
an
matter
R.
because I'm reading them all
It's
out.
a R.
It's fine.
The derby comes
it's-
before a R.
Absolutely fine. Anyway, how is everyone?
No, fine. I've just found the link to the video that I want to share with you all, which is the entirety of Quake Reskin with Tim Allen from Totem Home Improvement, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Okay.
I think. Obviously,
Out
it's a.
of context video recommendation. I like it.
Don't worry, I will post a link somewhere where people can see it. I'm sure I said that last week and didn't do that.
Previous to recording, just for everyone at home, and somehow we got onto the subject of Quake with home improvement noises. I like it.
Almost entirely because I mistook Quake for Doom. They're very different games, but never mind.
They're close enough.
at the same time equally as awesome. I forgot how much I actually enjoyed Quake compared, because whenever I always think back to like playing FPSs at that time, you always go revert to Doom.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, it is Doom. I second guessed myself and thought it was Quake, but it actually is Doom.
It is Doom with home improvement noises.
I'm sorry to everyone, including the listeners.
No, wait, it's Duke Nukem. Right, sorry guys.
Oh my god, is it really?
Oh no, it was Unreal.
No, it's Doom.
It's the ultimate Doom.
Hang on, isn't this that German game?
Wolfenstein, you think?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that video is just all sorts of just trippy as balls.
Cool.
Trippy as balls.
I'll put a link to that in the description.
Yeah, play it with full volume, and it's almost seizure-inducing, but in a fun way.
What was the theme to Home Improvement?
I nearly did the Seinfeld theme tune then. Yeah, I can't remember. Dun, 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 dun. That's the only bit I remember.
Yeah. That's that advert, 1066.
That's that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over your pitch perfect rendition of his grunt. Well done. Sorry, we can't do that.
I love. Oh no, it's not The Simpsons. Does anyone remember a cartoon? There was a spin-off episode that was on The Simpsons. A cartoon called The Critic.
No.
Oh god, yeah. You've got
good.
The box set.
I've got the whole box set.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
What was it?
It was it's John Lovitz, and he plays a film critic called Jay Sherman.
I do remember.
That's it. And
no, isn't he the psychiatrist?
No, that's Fraser.
I'm really shocked that John Lovitz
you're thinking
became a
Dr.
leading man.
Who, John Lovitz?
He was never leading man material, was he?
No. Apart from in High School High, he was the lead in that. I went to the cinema to watch that film.
You went to the cinema to see a John Lovitz-led production.
Well, not specifically. It wasn't intentionally like for John Lovitz. You know, not that I wasn't a fan of him. I'm definitely not a fan of his now because of everything I heard about what an a-hole he is from on Hollywood Babylon. And Ralph Garman's podcast. We tried to really kind of do him over.
Doesn't surprise me though. He seems like
podcast at theatre.
The Lovitz Theatre, yeah.
Yes,
John
exactly.
Lovitz goes from being the secondary character in A Leading Man's Space to the actual villain in Ralph Garman's story. How crazy.
Exactly, correct, exactly. But anyway, there's a home improvement bit where he's on a ride on lawnmower, and he's like, I've just supercharged my lawnmower. Look, let's just turn it on. He turns it on, and it goes into reverse, smashes through the fence, runs Wilson over, and he's like, oh no, I just killed Wilson. Looks like it's back to prison for me. And it just reminded me of that.
So my next door neighbour, he likes tinkering with stuff, and he had one of those little. I think I've told this story before. You know those little wheelchair. No, they're not wheelchairs. They're the things that you use if you're disabled but not disabled. What do they call them?
The ones that've got the little. They have the little. Wait, are you talking an electric one, motorized one? Rascals, not Rovers. That's a car.
No. So he had a Rascal. Got given it, and he's really into his bikes. So he had this chopper bike, you know, the ones with the big handlebars.
Yeah.
And he basically took the engine out of the Rascal and sort of pseudo fitted it to the chopper, and he even put the little buzzer on there where so when he pressed the little bell thing, it went beep beep. And he used to go up and down the street with it, calling it Frankenchopper, and he nearly hit me a couple of times. So does that mean I'm Wilson?
Yes, that's exactly it. and you definitely are if you miss the opportunity to at least shout to him, "Get to the chopper!"
Oh God, yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's annoying.
How dare you?
Which is also annoying because his name's actually Arnold.
No way.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I got nothing on that line of discussion, I'm afraid. No, I remember when I first saw the face of the actor who played Wilson, and I didn't know what to do with things.
I never want to.
Well, don't
want to shatter the illusion.
Don't, because I did, and I'm like, well, it's just a guy, isn't he? He's just a normal guy.
It's like
the cosplays of him when you go to a Comic-Con and you just see someone wandering around with a fence.
Imagine.
Now, I gotta say, as cosplays go, that is a very niche one, isn't it? Like a supporting character from a sitcom that ended 25 years ago.
That the cosplay of the guy, you know, the World of Warcraft episode of South Park. And it's a BlizzCon, and it's the massive, you know, huge arena with about 4,000 people sat there watching the cosparade.
Yeah.
And a guy cosplaying the fat internet guy who they're playing against.
With the keyboard, and he's
and he comes in, he puts his desk down, sits down, and gets into position and does the exact lean. Like the pose is everything. The pose is perfect.
He's even got that wrist support on as well.
Everything. It is. I mean, there's some people I'm sure go, I really look like that person. That's the cosplay for me. You know. So and that was that. That definitely sort of. He was like, do you know what? I look just like him.
So a guy that me and Dave work with. He's cosplaying as the computer from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Okay. Why does he look like? Does he look like it already?
No, because it's a computer.
Yeah, no, I know. I was trying to, you know,
they just went right over your head, didn't
it? That's the thing with that is that's the same guy who he's a World of Warcraft fan, and he posted the other night about how he was doing a big guild raid. And so I had to, as is the obligation when someone tells you that, I shared the
Leroy
exactly, because at least I got chicken. So it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite gaming moment of all time because I remember that being new, and I remember the Leroy Jenkins himself, the real guy. His name is not Leroy Jenkins, of course, but being invited to BlizzCon the following year because that clip went viral and everyone saw it, and that's what everyone knew World of Warcraft from was Leroy Jenkins. So they got him on stage at BlizzCon, and they got him on stage to do the shout. And I was like, this is the most like internet moment of all time. Like you get a guy who's made he's a living meme from your game, and you get him on stage in front of a room of other geeks who are also into that game to reenact a moment from the meme that's going around the world. It was so like, oh my God, the internet has like folded on itself, but I loved every second of it.
It's so meta it hurts. What
It's
happened to the I Love Turtles kid? Because that's just celebrated its 20th anniversary. So he's going to be in his mid-20s. Do you not remember
that one? No.
It was a they were at like this carnival, and this news anchor leaned down to this kid dressed as a zombie or as Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster and said, "Are you enjoying yourself?" And he just looks up and goes, "I like turtles."
I remember that kid. Yeah.
It just stuck. It just stuck just because of the way he said it. I mean, clearly he had his own issues. He had stuff going on. I'd just like to know where he is because that was 20 years ago. Not
to detour back to the 20-year-old sitcom that we were talking about for a second, but just a little simple fact here because I love Wikipedia. It's my favorite website. Home Improvement had 204 episodes, which is that's nuts. And also, get this, Tim Allen was offered $50 million to come back and do a 9th season.
No, he wasn't.
Who was it? Patricia Richardson, who played his wife, she was offered $25 million to do a 9th season. They both turned it down. So the series ended at 8 seasons. Wow. $50 million to be Tim the Toolman Taylor, and Tim Allen's like, "No, I'm good."
Surely
I'm all right.
20 years.
I'm playing Santa Claus.
Oh, hey, don't. The Santa Claus is a great film. But what I'm thinking is, like, if someone said to me, "Here's $50 million to do pretty much anything on the planet," I would say yes. And if it was play that character in a show that you've already played for 8 years and are really good at, I'd be like, so I can basically phone this in and cash a $50 million check. I am in, son. I'm in. So what was he doing? What was he earning in 1999?
6 months of your life.
Toy Story.
50 million.
He was doing Toy Story in 90.
That's it. And he was like, "Oh, this is it. That's me set now."
Wasn't that earlier? Wasn't that 95?
I am
97 Toy Story. What was it?
Buzz Lightyear. That is it. That's all he cares about at that point.
Even then, the Buzz Lightyear bank, that carries on for a while. $50 million to phone in 6 months of work?
No, absolutely. 100%. I mean, I occasionally think, if you're a big Hollywood actor and you're getting paid, $10 million per production or whatever, is there a point where you go, "Do you know what? I'm fine. I'm done now. I don't need to make another Transformers movie. I've got enough money." But I mean, some people there really isn't. For Tim Allen, yeah, absolutely. Good on him. That's
what I think about Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos, richest man in the world, $125 billion worth of his personal wealth. like he's like half a step away from being the world's first proper Lex Luthor style supervillain. And I'm wondering, like, what's that step? Like, what's the thing that's going to make him take that step into proper supervillainy?
Well, he's got the resources. He's nearly there with the data mining thing, though, isn't he?
I mean, he's not a good guy. No one earns $100 billion by being a good guy. Let's face it. But like, what's the thing that's going to tip him over the edge to be our actual real life Lex Luthor?
Talking about not being a good guy, and that's a really good segue, actually. Elon Musk, right?
Okay.
Is pretty much a massive dickhead. Do we not agree?
It's tricky, isn't it?
It's tricky.
It's not
becoming more and more apparent as time goes on.
It's tricky because I like a lot of the things the guy stands for, and equally hate a lot of the things the guy stands for. So it's quite difficult. I feel quite conflicted.
Don't call people pedophiles, and don't put put money above health. Like these are rules that should be pretty easy to follow. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I do think he's an knobhead, but I did also watch the launch the other day of the rocket.
Everyone did.
It's very exciting. Did you see it, Dave?
I didn't watch the launch live, but I did follow it afterwards, and I did see the rocket, the capsule over my house that evening, which was quite nice.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about with regards to this. First of all, did you consider the fact that the people in the Dragon, the little thing on the top, was sat in there for, well, I mean, the trip took them 17 hours from launch, but even before launch, they were in there for 3 hours? So, and for that whole time, they would have been on camera. So they would have definitely peed or pooped on camera. Like, there's no doubt.
But they're astronauts, so they'd have styled that out. You wouldn't even have known.
Yeah, they're used to it.
Yeah,
I know. But what I want to know, right, is has anybody actually gone through the footage and discovered
See the moment
that he's just like winced just a little bit?
I think when I many years ago, back when I was but a wee bairn, I thought about being an astronaut, right? So that how cool astronauts are. When I discovered just how much physical testing actually takes place with an astronaut, I was like, I'm out. I'm done. Because it's like you gotta do, like, if you spend any time in space. I mean, first of all, to go into space, you basically become a lab pincushion. Like, they just test you and poke you and prod you, inject you, blood test. It's nuts. And then when you get back, they carry on testing you for months because you've been in space, so they can just experiment on you and they've got a license.
They quarantine you for the first couple of days as well.
Oh yeah,
you might have that space AIDS.
Well, they had to be quarantined for an entire month before they got in that ship.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're on the International Space Station with an illness,
imagine. Oh yeah, sorry, International Space Station's got the Rona.
Oh jeez, Space Rona.
Yeah.
Just coming back to Tim Allen real quick. He only got $50,000 for Toy Story.
Did he?
Yeah, and
he got some back end though, right?
He got $5 million for Toy Story 2, but to get there, he turned down $50 million of that home improvement money.
Oh, when was Toy Story and when was the end of Home Improvement? Did we work this out?
Home Improvement ended in 1999.
Okay, so he'd been paid $50,000 at that point for Toy Story. He said yes to a Disney film for $50,000.
That was 95. 95 for Toy Story.
Yep, and then 98 or something, 99. He did Toy Story 2
at 99,
and got $5 million.
Yeah,
but then said no to Home Improvement for 50.
To 50. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's crazy.
Did he not get a deal on the merchandising for Toy Story 1?
He must have got some back end.
Well, it doesn't say he did. But he could have. But even then, like, that $50 million home improvement money, Tim, what are you doing?
Talking about Buzz Lightyear, the spaceman. Can we go back to space again for a second?
Yes, go back to space.
Space.
What's that from?
From Red Alert 2.
No, it's not. Space.
It is Space, Reg.
It is. It's Tim Curry.
Up here. Thank you.
Well, Red Alert 3, if I'm going to...
Oh, okay, Red Alert 3. Space.
Oh, no, I'm thinking from Hollywood Babylon.
Yeah, that's where it's from.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he plays that. They play that clip quite a lot.
I didn't know.
He plays a Russian commander in Command and Conquer 3.
Yeah, with Gemma Atkinson as his next second in command.
So another question. They had two parts of the launch. They had the Dragon and they had the Falcon, right? The Falcon was the thing with all the fire in, and the Dragon was the thing where the men sit on the top, right?
Oh, so when the Falcon disconnected from the Dragon,
yeah,
did it go Falcon punch?
No,
launch it. That's a
Someone
shame.
did. I bet one of the astronauts under his breath. Yeah. Under his breath, he's like, Falcon punch.
Trained my whole life for this moment.
So it was designed because they look back in time and they're like, right, okay, there's been a couple of rockets that have gone up and just exploded, and we don't want that to happen. And they acknowledge the fact that the test, the Falcon 1, exploded just a couple of days before, but they were like, the second one's probably going to be fine. But they designed it so if anything went wrong within half a second, the Dragon could escape from the rocket, from the Falcon, within like a fraction of a second. It would get hurtled away from it. The problem being, of course, is there would be injuries because of the rate of acceleration. It would pull so many G's in a random direction because it is catapulting you from the problem. It's catapulting you from the explosion, right? So you'd walk away with broken bones. You're not necessarily guaranteed that you'd survive that. Would you not just want to burn up in flames? Like what?
Fuck no. Give me the chance to survive even with injury, and I'm taking that shit. I do not want to blow up in a rocket. No way.
And then sue the Musk.
Yeah, be like, bitch, you broke all my bones.
Oh, he's definitely signed a waiver. He had to sign a waiver.
It's so dangerous.
Steve, I'm pretty sure you are that fucking adamant you are getting something from someone that you'd probably end up getting the money from it.
Any of you there in a full body cast on www.resolver.com, like, who are you targeting? Elon Musk. Why? Broke all my bones in a rocket escape. How much you claiming for? £4,500 plus.
Another thing, right, is I don't know whether you saw the controls, but there was just 3 touchscreens in front of them, right? So I know Elon stuff. I have one of his cars, and the other week my car crashed, and the screen went off, like just mid-driving.
Yeah, using the word crashed is a bad choice.
Yeah, sorry, the software.
The computer system.
The computer system crashed, which is essentially the whole car. Because keep in mind, there's no dials. There's no, like, I don't even know how fast I'm going. Dan, honestly, I'm hurtling down the road. I did have cruise control on. I have no idea if that's still on anymore. Apparently it was. I didn't know whether I was going to be able to brake or to put it in park or reverse. It just crashed, right? But I was only going at 30 miles an hour. At one point, they were pulling 1,500 miles per hour. I have questions. Why would it be touchscreens? Why haven't they got like a little joystick or something just in case?
Yeah, I mean, anything electrical has the ability to not work.
Right.
So I think the only thing that might have happened was, their ability to see what was going on would have gone.
I mean, I get that. It was all automated, but I mean, it freaks me out a bit that there's no manual controls on the Dragon at all. Like you can't manually fly it.
Just give us a physical button to press just in case everything goes wrong. I get that.
So that freaked me out a bit as well. The other thing that's getting my back up a little bit is well, they're all on flat Earth pages, by the way. But people that are using the hashtag FakeX, people that don't believe that the Falcon could land on its base because of the fact that they're saying it's too thin. Now, keep in mind, the Falcon's width is probably the same as about my house times 3 or 4. So it can definitely land. It's not that thin. Well, like, from far away, it's thin.
But the great thing is, one of my favorite all-time... No, sorry, jump back real quick. Would you want a manual control when you're sitting on a massive can of solid fuel? You're basically sitting on the top of a ballistic missile. Would you want a control for that? I don't think I want it. I wouldn't want to mess with that.
That's their argument, is they want to be able to pinpoint accurate control.
I want to press a button and be like, just Jesus, take the wheel here. Like, someone, let's go.
Jesus, just like a really fast computer.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite space stories, when it comes to people talking about faking it and hoaxes and that bullshit, is Buzz Aldrin, my absolute space hero. The idea that a man, I can't forget the man's name, but he was like a sensationalist journalist of the time, and he was hounding Buzz Aldrin at this. He was at a hotel, and he kept trying to talk to him, kept trying to get in his face, and Buzz Aldrin's like, just leave me alone. And he was like, but obviously we know that the moon landing was fake, and Buzz Aldrin punched the man out in the street.
Really?
Yep. The guy said to him, well, we all know it's fake, and Buzz Aldrin knocked him on his ass, and I was like.
If that's the only thing that you've done in your life that's like, not the only, sorry, the biggest thing that you've done in your life is
Buzz Aldrin. He's only the second human on the moon. I mean, what else
he comes right after first.
What have you done for me lately, Buzz? What have you done for me lately?
You get what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, that's his thing. He went to the moon. There is what I like about that is there's rumor, and people have denied it, but there's that rumor that keeps persisting, that they hadn't decided who was meant to leave the capsule first, so that when it came to landing on the moon, there was a bit of like jostling for like who could get out the door first. Now, they've said since that's bullshit because Neil Armstrong was in command, therefore he would get out of the thing first. Yeah. But there's this like rumor of like, were they like kind of elbow in trying to get out the door first to be the first person on the moon? Which I think would be, just imagine those massive bulky spacesuits. You're like, let me out.
Pushing each other. Yeah. Question, do you think Elon Musk is such a cunt because Neil Armstrong made him cry?
I'm a little shocked from a C-bomb on the Nerd of D podcast.
That
shocked me. That shocked me there.
I really don't like him. He does my head.
The thing with Elon Musk, though, is that they say there's a lot of things about him that I really don't like, but when you saw the interview about the rocket launch and you see him there crying because they've succeeded at doing this incredible thing, I forget about some of the stuff that makes him a dick,
Don't get me wrong, he's completely bipolar. Like, he'll be sat there and he'll be like, let's come up with a way that makes payments easier and like so people don't get defrauded. Yeah, good, that's good. Okay, let's come up with a way where where it'll be clean emissions and all cars will be cool. Okay, that's cool. Let's call that guy a pedophile. No. No. Okay, well, let's send people to space for a reasonable cost. That's it, Elon. Yeah, do that. Okay, let's be a cunt about reopening all the the Tesla head offices. It's like he'll come out with one thing and it'll be yes, perfect. That changes the world for the good of mankind. I don't understand why someone that wants to aid mankind so much is so against mankind.
What's great is I can imagine you having this very strong opinion about Tesla not reopening for the greater good, etc. And I just think about that if this had happened like a year ago, and just the idea that your Tesla would be delayed, you would be on the exact opposite side, be like, open the offices, get me my car, Elon. Don't even say that you wouldn't be. I know you'd be that guy. You'd go full-blown Karen. Like, where is my car?
Remember, they pushed my car back. I actually genuinely was that guy. But no,
that is true.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand why someone would be so positively pushing for, he wants us to live on Mars. He wants us all to be fine. But at the same time, he hates us all and would trade us all in for money. It's just insane to me.
I've seen Total Recall. I don't want to live on the moon, on the Mars. It's not good.
I don't want to live on Mars.
That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger would say it, wouldn't he? He'd say it like that.
Listen, if we had 50,000 more listeners, that would be a shirt this week. I don't want to live on the Mars.
Get your ass to Mars. I say that. I absolutely love the film Total Recall. The original, not the Colin Farrell weird remake. The original Total Recall. Because of the fact that it's a Paul Verhoeven film. And you can tell it's a Paul Verhoeven film because it stars Michael Ironside, for one, and he's always in his films. And it's fucking batshit. You watch that film now, and you're like, what are you talking about? What is this? Why has he gone to a strange space brothel? And now they've got no air. And now that guy's a mutant. And what is
there's a midget hooker.
The story doesn't make sense at all. I've watched it a couple of times, and I still can't work out what's going on.
They're selling air. It's like all Paul Verhoeven films have got this incredible, the incredible sort of satire, satirical element of modern day issues, or what were modern day issues. You look at RoboCop, and it was the whole idea of corporate greed and private policing and the kind of that kind of 80s culture of excess. Cocaine snorting executives and all that kind of. It was like a massive play on that. They were the real villains. So that was great. Total Recall was very similar. You've got these corporate entities who want to buy and sell air and think that the poor people don't deserve to have it because they can't afford to pay for it. And it's amazing because it's a very, very it's wrapped up in this sort of crazy, all guns blazing, insane Arnold Schwarzenegger sci-fi vehicle, but it is an indictment of corporate capitalist culture, which is really just weird to wrap it up in that kind of package. Then you get to.
What you're saying is entirely accurate, but you're definitely overthinking it.
Oh, of course. But then I love Starship Troopers as one of my actual favorite films of all time.
It's a great film, and I wish it had a proper sequel.
Don't. I've watched Starship Troopers 2: Hero of the Federation, and I can honestly say that it is one of the worst films I've ever seen, and it makes me so sad. And here's the thing with that, right? So there are, top of my head, there are 3 sequels to Starship Troopers, of which one of them is animated and apparently quite good, although I've never tried it.
That's probably one of the only decent sequels, if not the only decent sequel.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. So Starship Troopers 2 features. So this is the thing that gets me, right? I have this thing with film and TV franchises that I believe actors should play one character, right? Especially if they're a named character. If we're talking like old Star Trek Next Gen, where someone played a random Klingon and they played a Federation engineer, I don't care. You don't see those people's faces. It's not a big deal. Yeah. But if you're going to be
the guy
named
who played
character,
Quark played 2 different Ferengi.
Yeah, but Ferengi, man,
I'm just saying.
You can't tell. You can't tell under all the makeup and prosthetics. But if you've got a named character who's quite significant in a film, for that actor to return in the same film series as a different character just fucking throws me. So Brenda Strong is the actress who played Captain Deladier. I know this film too well. I'm sorry. I realize this.
You certainly do.
The captain of the Roger Young is Captain Deladier, and she's played by Brenda Strong, who, spoiler alert, unfortunately perishes when she's trapped under a fucking door. Brutal. Brenda Strong is in Starship Troopers 2 as some like hard-ass mobile infantry sergeant.
Nah, you can't do that.
I know.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I'm watching it, and she shows up, and she's like hard as nails and like chomping a cigar or some shit. And I'm like, you're Captain Deladier. You just died in the last film, which is chronologically set like at the same time. So what is this? What's happening? And it's so weird because the film was bad anyway, sadly. But in that moment, it properly took me out of it. Because I'm like, hang on a second. I know you. And it was such a weird thing to be in a film that wasn't that good anyway, and to actually be removed from it even further.
That was like me with that film with the subtitles that weren't proper subtitles, but I can't remember what it was. Shit, what was it?
Well, literally any foreign film.
No, Suicide Squad.
They're all like different fonts and all that kind of stuff all over the screen and stuff. Ugh.
And it just took me out of the movie. We talked about this in the previous season, but subtitles are there for a reason. That they're not there to take you out of the mood of the film.
Yeah, definitely. You should be able to read them as well as see what's on screen and not have to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
It
just reminded me that I was watching a film. It
reminds me the Suicide Squad. I mean, they're doing the remake of that, aren't they? But it's like they've not confirmed.
Reboot.
Is it definitely a reboot? Because aren't a couple of the characters?
Well, they're just trying again.
Well, apart from Harley Quinn, I think she's the only one who's, or Joel Edgerton. I think those two are the only ones.
It's a weird. This is the weird DC trend that I can't deal with, where it's like we released this film. Okay, it did all right. Let's just let's do the film again. Let's do it again.
Yeah, they want a universe like Marvel have so successfully created, yet they can't follow through.
No, they want to rush. They want to. They brought Justice League out with like 2 films before it, if that. I think it was.
Oh yeah, but now we're getting the Schneider cut.
Yeah, no, all right. Well, let's release it how it was supposed to be. And now we're talking about giving us
HBO Max.
David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad as well.
The people that go on about the Snyder cut of Justice League are the same people who go on about the prequels of Star Wars actually being great and George Lucas was a visionary. Like the same people, because Zack Snyder is not a good director. He's very flashy, but he's not. Good.
He can be, but I agree on a whole he's not. He's had more failures than he has successes.
A 4-hour version of any of his movies is not what I'm here for. So
apart from Watchmen, because the 4-hour version of that's amazing. But anyway, sorry. I'm a big fan of Watchmen.
Don't get me wrong.
Who watches The Watchmen?
Dan.
Well, I do. Yeah. Every now and again.
And also
4.5 hours to kill.
The series came out, and the series is really good.
The series is amazing.
I haven't watched the series. No.
Oh my days, it's incredible.
It is good.
Very good.
It was surprisingly more invested. I got surprisingly more invested in that series than I thought I would do.
You think it's not that much to do with the original. But then as it goes on, it starts to become more and more apparent, how everything ties up. It's so good. So very good.
Speaking of series, I don't know. I'm now having this weird flashback to, did we talk about this or was it a different show? Did we talk about the Umbrella Academy series too?
No, I don't think we have yet.
We did, because then we had that whole conversation about me going, I'm actually going to be able to hear what the guys sound like now.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, okay. That was a while ago.
I had this weird flashback that, like, did we talk about that or did?
Yeah, because it's out in like next week, isn't it, or the week after?
It's end of July.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, the more I think that I genuinely am quite excited, because like it's been long enough since I've watched the first series, and I never read any of the other material, so I only watched the series, and it's long enough ago that I don't remember all of it, so it's probably like it's a good time for me to rewatch it before the second series, because I remember it being amazing and really being excited about a second series, but I don't remember everything that went on. So Yeah, that's something to rewatch. But yeah, I thought we'd spoken about it. I just forgot.
Yeah.
So as listeners,
quite the cliffhanger as well. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, that's
one
excellent.
of those. Mm-hmm.
I also think Ellen Page is fantastic, and I think that when they put her in that show, I was like, oh okay, I wonder how she's gonna. And she's so good.
Fucking person in everything she does.
Yeah, she sold out in this though. She said she wasn't going to play. She said she wasn't going to play a straight female, and she is.
Yeah, but she's got a lot of issues, that character. So I think you could forgive her that.
I don't like. I don't know if it's just when she was in Beyond, the David Cage game, the guy who does like Heavy Rain and stuff. He actually paid her like so much fucking money to star in Beyond, and he was like, "This is going to be the big thing that's going to bring you back. This is going to launch it. It's going to be amazing." And like, I fucking love me Dave Cage, and it's like, there's nothing he could ever do that could ever do no wrong. And then I tried Beyond. Oh my days! Like,
why is that Ellen Page's fault?
Because she is Beyond. It's all her. Her shitty voice acting, her shitty fucking character skills, her annoying voice, her just being pathetic in everything she does. It's just, it's so. I don't like it.
For the longest time, I was absolutely convinced that she was the. Yes. Yeah, absolutely convinced that it was based on her.
Did you see the tweet that she put out a tweet going, "Will people stop asking me about The Last of Us? I am not in The Last of Us. I am in Beyond, and it's a far superior video game." And then she got lashed just like so much that she went off Twitter for a bit because she was like, "I can't deal with all this." And there's people just like not having a go at her, but just taking the piss, going like, "Have you actually played The Last of Us? Have you played Beyond?"
Yeah, but if you cashed a Tim Allen style paycheck for being the face of a video game, you die on that hill. You know what I mean?
If someone came up to me and was like, "Right, okay, here's the story," and you read through everything, and you're like, "Yeah, you know what? This game sounds like fucking insanely good," then brilliant. But if you get it and it's like, right, basically this game is like the equivalent of asking Little Mix to do a film, and really want you to be the manager, and we're going to pay you £50 million, but you've got to put up with Little Mix for like 3 months of your life. Would you be interested in that? Then I'd be like, just pass me the noose. It could not. I wouldn't even just be like, I'd say no. I'd just end.
You see, Reg, this is where you and I differ. Because I told you before, someone could say, "Here's $50 million," and I would say, "Whatever you want me to do on this planet, I will most likely do." And if making a Little Mix movie with an accompanying console video game with the soundtrack done entirely by Little Mix, if that's what you want, I will get you that for $50 million.
I feel like we're glossing over the fact that Reg's go-to now has become Little Mix.
It's fresh in my mind. I did so just going off topic for a while. I did another podcast which is going to be launching on our network in the next few weeks, called Bangers and Chat, and it's a music podcast.
It's a great title.
Which we are doing. I'm going to be jumping in every now and again and doing it, but one of the guys who's hosting it, Paul, he asked me a load of questions all based around my music taste. So it was like, what was the first single you ever purchased, and what was like the first like album you ever got gifted, and that sort of stuff. And then one of the questions was, what's the best cover song you've ever heard and why? And what's the worst cover version of a song you've ever heard and why?
Right.
And I was like,
Cannibal.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, the best cover version ever is a toss-up between either Psycho Killer by Bare Naked Ladies or The Whole of the Moon by Frightened Rabbit. And I was pretty sure it's The Whole of the Moon by Frightened Rabbit. My worst cover version. And then when I looked at the corner, it was like 35 minutes later, and I was like, and that's why I hate Little Mix. He was like, right, okay, so we've gone on for like an hour and 15 minutes now, Rich. I was like, I'm sorry. There's a lot of editing to do there. Hopefully you can get that down.
There's nothing like releasing a new podcast that's just full of Reg hate.
But it was, you know what? It was such a fun podcast. 'Cause I was like, I've always had immaculate taste in music. And then he was like, what's the first song you've ever known all the lyrics to? And I was like, Big River by Jimmy Nail. Like, I've not always had immaculate taste in music. Looking back, I'm like, right.
Also, can we not have either a segment or a podcast itself called Reg Rage? Because I would
go and Reg after dark.
No, Reg, don't tease me. You know, Reg, that's never going to happen.
At some point, it will happen.
As for
like
Dad Pod. Still waiting for Dad Pod.
Dad Pod's there. It's going to be there at some point. But
I feel like we need to do it before someone else takes the name.
Well,
I know.
Me and Ash were talking about this because I did the podcast with Paul, and I was like, you know what, that was such a fun, different pod to do. And she was like, whatever happened to the Dad Pod? And I was like, it just never yet. And she was like, yeah, but the thing is now, like all the stuff we were going to talk about, we're going to have to try and remember from memory instead of it being fresh and happening. So like, maybe for the next kid. I was like, and then because then I know it'll never happen. So, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, if it does happen, I'll try and remember the most fun things. But you know what my memory is like? It's fucking horrendous.
Excuse me.
Where
am I? Who are you? What's happening?
That was a powerful sneeze.
And sneezed so hard his brain fell out.
No, that was like Reg's talking about his memory. It was a very recent callback.
No, new podcast, new podcasts, new beginnings. Very exciting. Very excited about yours, Reg. I've got a new one in the planning stages, so getting it all together on the back of our exciting "Who Are You Wearing" series. We've got the I say it's coming. I've not even started doing anything about it yet. I got a logo out first, and that was like, I'm like, done now. Got a logo. We're good.
Hey, a logo is half the battle. Yep. The other half is a theme tune.
Oh, damn. Dan, I might have to come knocking on your door for some help with that.
What's it called?
It's called Cosplay Confessional.
Okay.
And it's going to be...
So we're going to have
a cosplay.
a cover version of a Dashboard Confessional track.
Sharp hint of new tears. But
on the way home, it is Cosplay Confessions.
Oh,
I think tonight I'll wear my Deadpool mask.
I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
What I love is that I am almost certain, Dan, that you just did that right now on the spot with no prep, and I'm very impressed with your efforts. I mean, it might need some polish, a little bit of polish, but we'll see where it goes. Maybe we'll workshop it, see what we come out with.
And we've got Chris's email address, so we can email Chris and be like, any chance you could do if you could just record this for us in lockdown while you're there.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure he would say yes. Because he does a load of random shit, doesn't he, on there?
Yeah, I know you're bored.
If between you guys you can get me a Dashboard Confessional-esque theme song for it, performed by the guy from Dashboard Confessional, I would say I will use it. I will definitely use that.
We want to use your song, but we don't want to pay you, so we changed the lyrics. And
now will you sing it?
Now will you sing it for us?
Hey, if it works, let's go. Let's do it. But yeah, we're going to have a little interview series in a style of Whisky and Words, but not about writing, about cosplay and the story. I think there's all people. I've told you guys earlier on. Like, people might say, why would you do a cosplay based podcast that's audio based when it's a very visual thing to see someone's costume? And I'm thinking, I'm not as interested in what they look like at the time. I want to know why people choose that character and stuff, and also, why that's important.
That logic doesn't play out because our podcast is mainly about like films and TV shows, and it's not like we're watching them. It's not like you can hear them. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That is true. Podcasts are talking points. It's nothing to do with what the actual subject matter is.
Podcast are talky, not lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So. Which is why me and Reg do so well on podcasts.
Talky.
Well, you think you do well.
What are you talking about? Reg is a good-looking one.
I am extremely handsome and gorgeous.
Why do you think I'm so eager for Reg After Dark?
Yeah, turn the lights off.
Oh, it's warm in here.
That will be a treat. I might just do it on a bearskin rug. Guys, the day came out
in front of a fireplace.
I'm thinking about buying a hot tub.
Again.
Rebuying. Are you thinking a proper permanent hot tub?
Yeah.
Okay.
One that won't puncture and allow you to somehow get money back, even though you absolutely don't deserve it.
No, I didn't get all of my money back. They gave me a
part. 3/4 of it.
What was it? 170, and I paid 230.
I told you got far more back than you ever deserved. So
Yes.
put that money into a permanent fixed-sided hot tub.
That's what I'm thinking, but like I need to get the garden done first. I need to put the fence across the thing. But do you think it's worth it? Because I did use it a lot, didn't I? That hot tub.
You've done the cheap sort of test drive now, haven't you? You've tried it out. You've got a fair bit of use out of it, and I think a permanent one. Yeah, absolutely. I would be more keen to go in a permanent one.
Yeah, me too.
You went also one, didn't you?
I did, but it took a lot. Took a lot out of me.
I never.
Did you not enjoy it?
I never experienced your hot tub.
All right.
I never. I had the option. Never did. In the same way that you had the option to watch my film. Never did.
on the back of that, I had one of my friends from school message me saying, "I saw you had Alex on last week." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I've got a book coming out." And I was like, "All right, okay." I was like, maybe Nerd OD isn't the format for that. I mentioned Dave.
Yeah. Oh well, we do have an actual podcast about books. So.
Yeah. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, hang on, I have my own podcast. Maybe I can get him on the Steve Show. We can talk about the good old days.
I love the idea that your line of thinking was, maybe I can get him on the Steve Show. You sold your own podcast so short. You were like, oh, he's just asked me about being on a podcast. I wonder if I can get him on mine.
Only I had a podcast.
Yeah. If only this guy who asked me about a podcast would be on my podcast.
So anyway, he's excited about it. So I sent him a link, and we're going to do Steve Show Season 2.
The rebirth.
Is it going to be more than 3 episodes?
Well, we'll see. I mean, some of the best things were only 3 episodes, Dan. Like Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
The Steve Show is an event series. It comes in 3-part bursts.
It's
every 5
not
years.
Sherlock. People are not waiting till Christmas Eve so they can watch another episode.
Listen, I'm willing to bet that when I publish, it's going to blow up. Everyone's going to be like, finally.
Oh boy, all these years we've been waiting for the Steve Show's return.
People are checking it every day.
It is the chosen pod.
Do you reckon 3 people can blow up the internet?
How dare you?
There's the right people, Reg. There's the right people.
Yeah, that sounds like a challenge. We'll go with we'll see what the numbers are at the end of the month.
It sounds like a challenge. It sounds like ISIS. Could 3 people blow up the internet?
Oh Jesus,
that's edgy. That's too edgy. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at getting him on because he wants to talk about his new book. It's all about wrestling because he used to I think he did a newspaper article about boxing. Don't know. Boring to me.
Hang on.
Sure.
I've got a book of short stories. Have they been on the Steve Show? What's that about?
Did you just say that it sounds boring? So you want to get the guy on your podcast to talk about something you have no interest in?
Yeah, but because we can talk about the good old days because there's some stories that will be interesting.
Okay. Will that make people buy his book?
Maybe. We'll see. It might also put him on a list, but we don't. We'll see.
They hear what a wizard cool guy he was back in the day. How could they turn that book down?
Yeah, on that note, I also want to get that because I've been talking about getting him on for years. But Rory, my famous friend, I reckon he'd do it as well.
Yeah, why is he famous?
He did the Body Rock video by Moby, and he was also in the Cream Egg adverts.
He directed it, or he starred in
He was in it. Yeah, he was in it. He was the guy that was dancing.
What? He's the? Is it in the one that's just one person, or the one that shows the auditions?
No, the one where he's dancing and the car blows up. That's Rory.
That's him. You know that guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have heard this by now.
No.
This would not be the first time I was hearing that you know the Body Rock guy.
I do know the Body Rock guy. He's the same as the Austin Powers guy. The 2 at a time, baby. Yeah, it's him.
I don't. Oh, okay. I don't know about that one, but
he's got loads of stories. Apparently, but he punched Dr. Fox in the face. That's going to be a good episode.
I've heard that story. Well aware of that story.
So yeah, apparently he got paid more in cream eggs than he did for the Body Rock advert. For the Body Rock.
Spoilers. This is all quality Steve Show material, and you're just giving it away.
Giving you a little
giving
snippet.
it away.
A little snippet.
It ain't a teaser if you give the whole thing.
I'm surprised you remember that video. Was it? I mean, yeah, it was popular back in the day, wasn't it?
It was out around the time that I used to watch a German music channel on satellite TV called Viva Zwei, and they used to play it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it was so good. I got so much of my, I think, good music taste from that TV channel, because there was no MTV2 yet, so there was nothing really, no Zane Lowe. It was just, for me, it was just Viva Zwei. That taught me a lot of stuff.
I was just thinking about that. You're talking about Moby and talking about that particular album, Play, which is also 1999. A lot of things in 99 this episode. I love that.
You're just hovering over Wikipedia.
No. I'm searching my Apple Music because I love that album, and I'm thinking, hang on, why haven't I just downloaded that? Because it's a great album. I'm a fool.
Do you know the story of that album, though? Like why it became popular?
Yeah.
Well, I know the song Porcelain went massive, but I don't know.
There's a reason, though, because he released it and released like 3 singles off it, and none of them did anything. And then him or the record label, I don't know, just went, okay, advertising people, just use my songs. Don't pay me, just have my songs.
It was his record label that was like, just give away, because he did a video about it going, like, it's the first and last time he'll ever do it. He hates the fact that their record label did it, and you would have preferred to have just not had the fame.
Because if you remember, around that time, every other advert had a Moby song from that album on it. There was so much going on, and then Porcelain and a lot of them anyway blew up, and that was it. Then the record sold millions, so it was a good idea. Clearly worked.
I have a very strange look at my recent music searches on Apple Music. I have got songs like "Regulate" by Warren G featuring Nate Dogg. Obviously, excellent track. Now I have Moby because I've just been searching for Moby songs, and also the songs by the Wiggles. And
who the fuck the Wiggles?
Reg, I'm not sure if
kids band, right?
You wear the Wiggles, Reg?
No,
they're the creepy Australian guys who wear turtlenecks.
No, not creepy. Not creepy. Wholesome.
Yeah,
wholesome. Okay. I have become inadvertently a big fan of the Wiggles because my daughter has become a massive fan of the Wiggles, to the point where I know most of the songs and the dances. So what up? Don't at me. But yeah,
I think your daughter would love Crayon Pop.
Don't worry, I'm not long off getting her on the K-pop. Don't worry about that. Lou is dubious, but I think we'll love it.
So Dan,
yes,
I'm just posting a picture of him in the chat. I know this isn't good visually for everybody else, but I just want you to. Oh no, that's not right. That's a work photo.
I was hoping you just sent it to Rory. There's like a personal picture to him. Like, why have you sent me a picture of you?
That is definitely the wrong photo.
Yeah, it's gone now. That one.
Well, while you're doing that, Dan, were you at the V-Fest when Moby played? Or was that Dave that was at the V-Fest?
No, I've not seen Moby.
Moby was amazing live, and he played 1,000.
1,000 beats per minute.
Yeah, literally, it was the fastest song in the Guinness Book of Records because it had like 1,000 beats a minute in it. And it was basically epilepsy from start to finish, but it was in the best way possible. It is absolutely insanely phenomenal. And I don't understand why he just went away again, because he's still releasing music like every year. There's like another 2 or 3 albums from Moby. I don't know why he just disappeared as fast as he came.
Dancing Queen. Crazy.
I love the whole the story about him and is it Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
And how he wrote in his book, didn't he, that he had a thing with her, and she just flat out denies it.
Right, Dan.
Well, she didn't just deny it. She came out and referred to him as the creepy guy who stalked her for a while.
That's it. Fair enough.
Do you recognise him?
Not in that picture. I'll need to watch the video, but as soon as I watch the video, I'm sure I'll be like, "Yep, that's him." Wow.
There's the. Hang on. Boop, boop.
Speaking of
the video,
looking through random music, a band who are one of my absolute favorites.
Not the Wiggles.
Not the Wiggles,
Okay.
although they're up there. That do electronic music and quite cool kind of ambient kind of stuff called Haiku Salu, who are based in Derbyshire, not far from me actually.
I've heard you talk about them before.
They're
going to one of their gigs, if I remember right.
I did. I've been to them a couple of times live, and they are fucking phenomenal. Multi-instrumentalists using some incredible effects and stuff. And they've just dropped a new album, which has got a few new tracks and then a bunch of new versions of a lot of their back catalogue. So I am an excited boy by that. So yeah, if you like kind of electronic, kind of ambient, that kind of mix of traditional instruments and electronic sounds, they are phenomenal, and you should listen to them and buy all their stuff.
Nice.
It's a good recommendation.
I give it a go. I'm pretty sure they had a video that had loads of lanterns in. Like
The lamps, they do a lamp show, which has got about over 100 different lamps that all go off in time with the music, and it was
crazy. I watched that one and I liked that, and then I was like, I'm going to listen to more of these, but then I never did. So
I'll say, if you're ever in the mood for some good solid background kind of thinking ambient music, whatever, their albums are phenomenal for that.
Well, I will listen to it while I plan our Comic-Con. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said it.
What are you talking about, Dan?
I don't know.
He doesn't know what he's saying.
I don't know nothing.
Well, I will change the topic massively because I just randomly come across this article. Young Spider-Man fans let a Black Widow spider bite them in the hopes they gain superpowers. That's right. 3 Bolivian boys end up hospitalized after they let a Black Widow spider bite them in the hopes they're going to gain superpowers a la Spider-Man. The Marvel-loving siblings, aged 12, 10, and 8, found the spider while herding goats in Chianta.
So much going on there.
Thinking it would give them superhero powers, they prodded it with a stick until it bit them in turn. Weirdly, nothing happened. They were hospitalized, however, with fevers, tremors, muscle pains, and we're waiting for the official diagnosis from the doctor. Sorry. But apparently they were there for at least a week before this was written. And it said that, they have no regrets.
I feel like this is just the story that keeps on giving. Every line of that, it just got better and better until they ended up in hospital. But just the goat. First of all, the fact they're Bolivian, then they're goat herding. I love it.
They're probably the spider that said, "Fucking bite me, prick."
There's a lot going on there. There definitely is. But I think it's fair to say that superhero cinema's got a lot to answer for.
Absolutely.
That's it. I'm going to make sure Oliver never watches anything like that.
Just the Wiggles, mate. Just the Wiggles, wholesome and safe.
Just the Wiggles.
I am not sure they're entirely safe.
100%. Dorothy the dinosaur, she's a T-Rex. She eats roses, mate. No flesh. She's a vegetarian.
Okay.
Excellent. No, I can't wait for Oliver just to be at the age where instead of just going when Mickey Mouse isn't on, to just turn around like, "Hey, Dad, can we put on this?" And me to go, "No, you're watching the Turtles and you're going to like it from start to finish." Like, right, okay. And then after the 5th attempt at trying to gain the remote control, he just goes, "Fine." Instead of now where he's like, "No, I know you've hid under that cushion and I'm going to try everything in my powers." Like Ash was in the garden and he went running out, banged on the door and was like, "Oh, you want to go see Mum?" So I let him out the garden, grabbed Ash by the hand, literally walked her in and then just sat down on the rug and cried because Mickey Mouse wasn't on the TV. And I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch, you played me." He's like, "Well, I tried to get the remote and you didn't let me fucking have it." So I was like, "Well played, son. Well played. Little shit. Little delightful shit, should I say."
And that
The
is
beautiful
fatherly
thing
love.
is, Reg, you've got the perfect gateway album of Bare Naked Ladies Snack Time, which is an album that they
listened to
did.
it in the bath a lot.
Brilliant. They wrote that album. It's basically a kid's album, and it's fantastic.
What's his favourite song?
Probably
Pollywog in a
Crazy
Box.
Crazy ABCs at the minute he laughs at.
Oh,
But I don't know if it's just because I go along with it and try and do it and do funny faces and doing stuff.
I like Allergies.
In fact, you know what? That's probably his second one, mainly just because of Tyler's sneeze.
Yeah.
He genuinely, he's got a thing where next time you come around and you see Oliver, we go out social meeting, whatever, gathering, distancing. If you pretend to sneeze, he will literally be near enough in tears, crying, laughing. He sees it,
everybody around you.
the most hilarious thing.
Awesome.
And I don't know why, but he finds it. And now he'll sit there at tea and just like get a fork, go to eat something, and be like, start laughing and then eat it.
I like the popcorn song.
Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Anyway, I could go on for a long time about that.
So speaking of kids' music, Dan, just very briefly, this but not even for you, sorry, for Dave. Get very confused. Oh, you would be interested, Dan. You know the guys who did the That's Rock Professional album I've got, the kids one, the lullabies. That's Spiral Sleeps. They've just done a Tenacious D one. So now they're just like Tenacious D lullabies.
Wow.
So that's next on my little hit list of things that I want Oliver to listen to when he sleeps, that he doesn't know he's subconsciously listened to.
Have I ever talked about they did a clean version of the Rise of the Phoenix album?
Yes.
Because back when EE were Orange, when you were an Orange customer, you used to get Deezer for free, which was the poor man's Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had that free, and the Rise of the Phoenix album came out by Tenacious D, and I was like, amazing, I can listen to it without buying it. And I started listening to it, and there was all these really, really weird sort of, like, words that I would use to replace swear words throughout the songs. I was like, this is not like Tenacious D. And then I heard the single that I'd seen the video for, and went, hang on, this is actually an edited version. It was a clean version of the album. And it wasn't just cut out. They'd literally rewritten all the lyrics to make them like kid friendly, almost like Kids Bop, but Tenacious D official version. And it's kind of like, you know, you're always saying there's a there's a version of the Bare Naked Ladies, Pinch Me, where they released it back when Napster was a big thing. They released that song as a single, and then they put a version of it on all these file sharing sites. With
Ben Folds did that for a whole album.
He did a fake album, but it would play about 30 seconds of the song, and then it would sort of go quieter, and then Tyler and Ed would pop up and start talking and go, "Oh yeah, you downloaded this illegally, didn't you?" And it was hilarious. It was almost as good as the proper song. You got to hear enough of the song to be like
in the game shop as well,
probably
a few times. It was amazing
before we had the album. Yeah. So like it's like that. It's as good as the real version because it's just so completely weird. But I can imagine.
Are they just chatting?
No, well, on the Bare Naked Ladies song, yeah. I just mean, but on the Tenacious D thing, it's well worth listening to the clean version, just because it actually adds a whole nother a level of humor to it. It's great.
Nice. I will. Anyway, I can say I haven't listened to that for ages. But
you can play it to him.
I will, although
you do that.
It probably will offend me, and I'll end up being like, "Don't tell your mum," but this is what actually the real album is. I think I'm going to be that guy. So like before for tea, because we've had like, I won't go into the pod, but we've had a bit of a traumatic 24 hours, and then his body clock's all completely off kilter.
Yeah.
So he's like his tea time isn't really tea time. So we give him his tea, and he was like, "Oh no!" And I feel like, right, I'm going to make you like some hamburgers, and you can have some soft stuff instead of like the beef burger, which he was having tonight with like sweet potato fries and stuff, which he loves. So I was like, right, okay. So when she went into the kitchen to make it, behind the couch, I've got an emergency supply of snacks for him. So like I was feeding him Pom Bears and like all this stuff and being like, yeah, it's the stuff you're not allowed to have. There's loads of sugar and stuff before bed. And then we spent ages going, just please go to sleep. And she's like, I don't know why you won't sleep. He's so knackered. I was like, yeah, it's got nothing to do with the stuff I've just been feeding him when you went in the room. I have no idea, babe. So yeah, it's entertaining as always, but hopefully, I want him to be that sort of lad that knows he can come up to me and just be like, can I have this? Because Mum said no. I'm like, yes, you can. We just don't tell Mum. It'll be in your games room. Can't wait.
In your games room, the games room that has no retro consoles in anymore.
No, but by the time he's old enough to do that, it might. Well, it will probably have this PS4 because I'm not fucking giving this up. So I'm like, I'll give up everything else. for this little one. So I've even Thursday I booked a day off because me and Ash were going to do like a load of stuff, and then IKEA opened apparently today. So she was like, "Oh, IKEA's open now." I was like, "Oh, is it? Oh no." Like,
bit of a queue though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a 2-hour queue, wasn't it, to begin with? So
3 hours in Ashton apparently. In Manchester, 3 hours to get in. I love IKEA. I love IKEA more than a lot of people. I'll put my hands up and say that. But I would never queue that long to get in IKEA. You can order online.
I'm going to go and do it.
Why? That's your life you're wasting.
We actually need stuff, and the shelves and stuff we want to buy, you can't order online.
Fair enough.
It's not on their thing, so we need to go in to get it. I was like, fair enough, but like the plan was originally to go after work today, and I was like, no, not on opening day. Like, Jesus, no. So I was like, we will go on. I'm off on Thursday, so we will go as early as we physically can. Like, now Oliver can get addicted to like Hey Dougie and all that sort of stuff in the car on Netflix. He'll be content in the car, and then we can just go and...
Sure, I've got Netflix as well.
Yeah, if I pass him my phone in the car. Which is the only other annoying thing, because now I can start driving around. And we start driving somewhere, and as soon as he goes, I was like, go on, give me your phone. But I was using that for directions. Oh, right, okay. Brilliant. I was like, no, it's my directions, and it fucking wiped my battery out. So like it'll start off on like, fucking like 60% or something like that sound. And by the time I get my phone back, it's on like 3%. I'm like, what have you been doing? What are all these websites you've been Googling? Ash, look at this, he's been Googling all these naughty websites on my phone. Like, just unbelievable. So yeah, there is that. But it's I suppose it's one of the perks of having something like that.
So that reminds me, my next door neighbour, I'm good friends with him. He's he'll text me randomly and he'll be like, look, I need you to buy something for me on eBay. Or, look, can you pay for something on PayPal for me, please? And I'll come and bring you the cash. Because what he's doing is he's buying stuff that he's not allowed to buy, right? So he doesn't have to tell his wife.
Well, okay,
From the dark web.
I thought you were
from the dark web.
Say some government thing.
No,
he's not allowed to buy these things. He's not allowed within 1,000 feet of a.
The latest thing.
Like
the latest thing I'm bidding on him for is this. It's like a van. It looks like the A-Team van, and it's an RC van.
So he asked me to buy him a van and lots of sweets and
several crates of fertilizer.
Yeah.
And
worse than that. So this thing's £200, and it's an RC car. So no wonder we won't let him buy it. But yeah, basically I'm buying it. It's getting shipped to my house. He's going to come over, give me the money. And so yeah, is this what it's like having a wife?
Pretty much, except that you don't get the money. It's just, this looks nice. I'm like, all right, okay, yeah, you can have that. And now it's even worse, as Dave will appreciate. When it's birthdays and shit now, like the kids take the credit for the best fucking present, and then
even though it's clearly you the boss.
Yeah, it's like I bought Ash Tiffany earrings. It's like Oliver bought Ash Tiffany earrings for her birthday. I got Ash a fucking A1 cutting board for sewing and a pair of corrugated fucking scissors.
Hey, let's face it, B's going to be buying birthday presents for Lou for the foreseeable future. I'm going to be paying for those presents until she has a job. So all those presents are for me. I don't care. They're from me. It's my money. I'm taking the credit. She can share it. She can share it because I am a merciful father. But those are my presents.
What did B get me? B got you nothing because she doesn't have a job. She's lazy. She sits around the house all day.
Yeah, work, child.
Speaking of working, I am going to have to shoot, guys.
Yep.
I'm afraid I know we've been going overtime, so that's fine.
No problemo.
I do apologise for having to cut this.
No, that's good. It's a good time to go anyway. Less for me to edit.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so until next time.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, team.
It's been a pleasure. I've been Dan.
Oh, I've been Sean.
I've been Dave. I've been Dave. What are you? God damn it.
Dan, Dave, Reg, Sean.
Steve.
Are we going again from the start, or are we?
Yeah, I've been Dan.
I've been Sean.
I've been Dave.
You Steve. And I'm Reg. In the most alcoholic way possible.
Bye.
See you.
Toodles.
Bye.